for the vigilance of a leader who has lived a very good life. There's no better time to die. When you die, and like you have said, you live well and die well. So one day we will still go. He has lived about past 70 years.
God is so benevolent. And I think it is the God of the New Testament, to be precise. He's a very calm, considerate God. I mean, you will agree with me that the kind of God, right, that was recorded in the First Testament in the Bible. That one, you know. See some people that, some children, they were abusing a prophet. Just called a lion to eat them. The lion just came from nowhere, just eat all of them. He was watching what was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. He got so pissed that he destroyed the entire place, turned everybody to salt. Another time he was so angry, he was so upset that he was so tired of humanity. He had to call Noah that Benilo built the boat, so he might destroy everything now. Again, we have to start all over again. They like, small thing like this, fire people just come from somewhere, just destroy this, But now the God of New Testament, that one is like, a very, very strict father who now give birth to a last born. Suddenly, all the things that, the older siblings were indeed punished for, the last born, is just like, if not in it. Well, the God of Old Testament, do you know how many dead body were supposed to surplus inside that church? Starting with a Sherrif, right? On that pulpit. You just see one snake will just come from the wall or from one calendar. You just see a calendar with snake, you just come out like that. You wow, just swallow and just go back in there. Everybody going to wonder where Sherrif go. Saying that God was angry. Blasphemy against God on his altar, right? But that's that, right? Now let me quickly take you on another trip. This time we are going to Abia State. I don't know if you are aware that the last Peter Obi's trip or video, the one reported from John Hopkins, right, in Maryland in the US last week, triggered has caused so much sort of like discomfort, unsettled the camp of the supposed owners of Nigeria. I can't even say owners of Nigeria. The rogues in Nigeria. The last time, it was Sanwo-Iku. It was Sanwo-Iku that was singing, right, and quoting unverifiable facts, data as facts, just because, it was an opportunity to still remind Tinubu that he is still loyal. I don't know if some of you are aware of this, right? It's been some, like faintly reported, what do you call it? Disagreement or out of favor kind of a thing between Sanwo-Iku and Tinubu. Let me tell you a bit of it, because what I'm about to say next or do next is kind of relative, all right? So it was reported that the removal of Obasa by the Lagos State House of Assembly, they were done out of disobedience to Tinubu. So when this whole thing first started, especially in December 2024, December last year, when Tinubu was in Lagos, and he heard about what was going on between Obasa and Sanwo-Iku, he now told Obasa to go on and settle whatever it is between them. Go and settle it with Jide. Go and see Jide and settle it. So there was no plan of removing Obasa. The whole thing was that of Sanwo-Iku. So when Obasa got removed, they said the report there was that it was a joint, sort of like a conspiracy. And that conspiracy was no longer considered as conspiracy against Obasa. It was seen as a conspiracy against Tinubu and Tinubu's authority. So the idea of sending these guys to say they want to serve this Oshoba and Bisia Konde, that they were settling the score between them, and they told them to go and return Obasa, this and that. They were there to represent Tinubu, and at the same time, trying to make sure that it didn't escalate. Because it was also reported that the same Sonwo was the one who gave over $25 million, 8.7 or so billion naira, to this lady, Aisha Ashimogu. Now, Aisha Ashimogu, right, who is said to be Sonwo paramour. You know what is paramour, right? Sonwo girlfriend. And I'm trying to kind of like, portray her in a better way. But some will tell you that she's a businesswoman, she's this or that. Nah. Anyway, Sonwo took the advantage to possibly be a good boy, right? By going for Obi. It's easier. You want to make Tinubu happy. You want to make the APC stalwart happy. Go for Tinubu. Go for Obi. All because Obi said that the leaders in Nigeria prefer to go abroad for their medical treatment while their citizens are left in squalor. They are left, right, to go and probably take care of themselves wherever they can. That's not a lie. Tinubu, everybody knows that your president only visits you once in a while, right? Because his hospital, his doctors, they are in London and they are in France. That's not a lie. That opportunities have been so mismanaged. People appointed who were supposed to manage your economy, they have mismanaged it enough that they are only feeding you with propaganda and gaslight. That's not a lie. That's when this another ex-convict, Ojiuzo Kalu, has turned on his own camera and the ring light to warn Obi to stop demarketing Nigeria. What the heck is he talking about? Demarketing Nigeria by saying what is happening and something that is orchestrated by your own supposed political party, your government. What are you talking about? Oh, listen.
It's very difficult to see some of our leaders going around America, Europe, Canada, Australia, China, demarketing our country. When we're busy looking for investment to pull up the country, people are busy going to tell everybody in Nigeria that nothing is happening. Sure. But how do we bring the people up? We must lift our Nigerians up. The policies of President Ahmed Tinubu is going to work, and it's working, but the problem is that it's not trickling down. It's a trickling down effect is what is after, and that is why we need continuous investment without stop. This is why we're all over everywhere to bring new investment back to Nigeria so that people can see work, hunger will go, and things will work. I know it's all over the world, it's difficult, but let our leaders come together. We are one family. Tinubu is not the owner of this country. He's just our president, which he will go. Buhari is already in Daura, from Kaduna. Tinubu will one day, after 8 years or so, one day be in Lagos, and nobody calls his name. So let us stop demarketing our country. Let us as family come together and work on the economic policies. The essence of opposition is to do the correct things and tell us what is wrong, how we can better the life of the people we want to govern. If it's this way that opposition will be, it means they have nothing to offer Nigeria. We will not have anything from anybody. I'm not a frivolous man. I don't live in politics. I don't play politics. I bring new investments that Nigerian people can have jobs, and people of our country will be committed to it. So I prefer leaders who are speaking the truth to the world than try to malign the country. It's not the right thing to do. Can we change our hearts? work for the betterment of Nigerian people. Whether you are anybody, let us work the betterment of Nigerian people. The betterment is what we need, whether we are right or wrong. Let Nigerian people be lifted up. That is my own vein of contention. And anybody who do not want to do this is plugging our country into a problem. Can we please rise and work for more investment to the country? Continuous investment. China was once in this position we are today. Vietnam was once in this position. We can overcome, and we will overcome. Because subsidy is a problem all over the world. You can only do food subsidy. You cannot continue subsidizing everything. Since 1960, this is the first time we are trying to tell goodbye to subsidy. Let everybody work on a real economy, and let us see the chaff and the grass. Goodbye. May we work for Nigeria. May we live and see that Nigeria survives.
ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún sí lálìkìyàmà ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí. ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún sí lálìkìyàmà ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí.
And he heard the Olori Buruku man. They like people who say the truth as opposition, which means they talk about what's going on one hand. Then in that same breath, he's saying that we should not be demarketing Nigeria abroad. Now, what you? That's a guy that makes over 55 million naira every month. Do you know that? That he makes over 55 million naira every month, while the rest of you would have to manage between 77,000 and maybe 300,000. How much is your lecturers collecting? How much are the lecturers collecting? They just want to say something, you know? And it is so irritating that the same guy that looted Abia State got convicted for it and then got freed for technical reason, and over 10 billion naira stolen from Abia people gone. And there look at him. We all should come together to attract investors to our country. How do you attract investors to a place where rogues who are supposed to be in prison are the ones running the country? A place where the people are completely at the mercy of their killers. And then they turn around and say, stop demarketing Nigeria. Kalu was, where was this again? I think it was in, was it UAE, I think. What do you think this is in the context of the Ronukus? This is the guy in charge of Nigeria. And he is also the Babiala general of Nigeria as well. Telling the world, not giving any sensible, sound, sort of like objective contribution. Though. What would you call this as a non-Nigerian?
I am from Nigeria. It's better to give you the true picture of what's going on in Africa. We have terrorism challenges, insecurity challenges that are preventing farmers to even go to their farm. We have problem in Sudan, displacing people. We have problem of climate change, flooding, destroying crops. And we have problem of protectionism. We have problems. It is very important to make it clear and louder here. We have problem of out of school children. We have problem of funding free education or giving our children 1 meal a day in a classroom to even make them pay attention to schooling. Africa has that problem.
Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi.
That was Kalu last year. And as part of what Obi said that triggers them, yeah, here is one.
Nigeria have less than 10%, about 5% health insurance, with over 70% of the health facility, the community health centers not functional, with nobody to manage. So it depends on where you are. If you're sick, the only thing you can do is to pray to God. That's why there's more prayers than dealing with the elite. Because there's nowhere to go to. And that is the crisis we face in the issue. But because the process has been hijacked by, I won't say bandits, but something like that, you hardly can take it back without the people understanding that they have a role to play in this in order for us to take it back. For me, like I said, it's just to give you an idea of my own little contribution in my experience of traveling around and saying that the problem is leadership. Nigeria have less than 10%.
Exactly. That's the one that Tinubu omitted. Problem of leadership. That's what he said. And they said he's demarketing Nigeria. Everybody is jumping into it. Especially Sonweku. We are waiting for Solu Dombo. That one will soon write his own, he will soon write his own piece too as well of how and why Peter Obi is demarketing Nigeria and is demarketing the Ndigo in Nigeria. Very soon, that one self will soon publish something. But before then, it was Sonweku. Sonweku is trying to impress Tinubu because of what they believe is coming for him. Jimmy cannot lie you. It is believed that, you see, the last has not been heard of what happened between Sonweku, Obasa, and that status of assembly. It's going to be around the time that a lot of people will be wondering and say, but what is all this again? That even Sonweku himself may have to struggle to complete his term in Lagos. There were two kings, Elegushi and the other one, who were said to have been drafted into the plot to remove Obasa. They are currently sending emissaries to go and help them tell Tinubu that it was Sonweku that dragged them into it. They didn't know anything about, they didn't know that he didn't get the approval of Tinubu before Obasa was removed. So like I said, the last hasn't been heard. You understand? So you may wake up one morning and they will say, oh, they want to remove Sonweku. And all of you will be like, what's happening? Okay? Say that they fight in a waiting, and it's going to happen. Because it is beyond just the removal of Obasa. It is also about Sonweku making an investment, playing smart than his own master. His relationship with a lady called Aisha Ashimogu, a lady that paraded herself as a businesswoman. She is the lady that Sonweku spent over $1 million in organizing a birthday for in Grenada. She is his own paramour. 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 It's actually an English word, though, paramour. So the EFCC declared her wanted. Why? There was a part where it was, even though she denied, they said Sonweku in 2023. Sonweku sent over 800,000 US dollars or not naira, to Atifu's campaign via Aisha. The reason why the EFCC declared her wanted is she paid $25 million for an oil block, and they believed that she is fronting for somebody. That she is She's not a person that can afford to put